Faith is to God what fear is to the enemy. What does that mean exactly? Well, faith is a deep trust and reliance on God, while fear is, simply put, the lack of faith. In fact, fear is the antithesis of faith, and all that really means is that faith and fear are in direct opposition to one another. They can't both exist in the same person at the same time, because one will inevitably overpower the other. Now, since they are stark contrasts, the definitions of both couldn't be more obvious. Faith is confidence and hope that God will show up for you and keep you safe, while fear is confidence and despair that God will forget and forsake you, leading to your circumstances overtaking you. To understand the difference between the two a bit more, let's take a quick look at Matthew chapter 14. While the disciples were boating across a storming sea of Galilee, Jesus approached them walking on the water. In a moment of bold and courageous faith, Peter asked Jesus to call him out on the waves. Jesus obliged, and the next thing you know, Peter is walking on water, just like Christ. But this lasted for just a moment until Peter's gaze shifted from Jesus to the surrounding environment, and he let his fear of the circumstances overpower his faith in Christ. It became too much to handle, and he began to drown. But Jesus was there to save him. Now, why is this story so important? And what are some key takeaways, key moments that will help us understand the dichotomy of faith and fear a bit better? Well, first and foremost, this story is perfect for an analogy. Hear me out. Our current circumstances and the situations we find ourselves in on a day-to-day basis can be represented by the crashing waves and raging storm. Keeping our eyes locked on Jesus and maintaining our faith in Him enables us to stand above and transcend whatever it is we are going through. But the second we look away from Him and get caught up in worrying about the situation we are in is the second that faith turns into fear and we begin to drown. And drowning in fear is a slippery, all-consuming slope that can and will spiral out of control fast if you allow it to. And yet Jesus' hand is always extended towards us, waiting for us to grab hold of Him with faith. We never have to worry about drowning in fear if we simply remain focused on Jesus. Believe me, I know it's easier said than done. Fear is one of the enemy's most effective flaming arrows in his quiver, but that is precisely why God has given us the shield of faith. But what good is a shield if you fail to raise it? Your faith will nullify fear, making it obsolete. But you must actively keep your eyes on Jesus and maintain your faith in Him. By doing so, you are keeping your shield raised, and your faith will deflect all fear. But that's all from me today. If you enjoy what God and I are doing here, consider leaving a like, and let's continue this conversation down in the comments. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and have an amazing rest of your day. I love you guys. God bless.